Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and we got a fantastic email from, from the author of this puzzle. I'm going to save up my pronunciation of the name of the author of this puzzle for a little discussion point, but the email was great and began first, I don't know who tested my puzzle, 3 out of 4 ain't bad, and recommended it, but because we featured that on the channel a while ago. But whoever you are, may all your favourite body parts grow 10% larger. You've made this old lady very happy, and I have an ex-wife who will swear that's impossible. Now, that is an absolutely fascinating introduction. There was even an asterisk and a footnote to say that if it helps, the body parts that are your favourites don't have to be on your body. I have literally no comment on that. That is too good for a comment. And now the author's name, the author's pseudonym. You see, last time I would have called this Coyote, and my pronunciation got slammed. So I bothered to spend the time looking up the correct pronunciation of this animal, at least. Obviously, the author might choose to pronounce this differently from the animal. And what I find absolutely fascinating is all the discussion on the internet is about the last 3 letters. Is it oat or oaty? And the standard form is oaty, but there are various dialect forms of oat. But it's the first vowel that I find confusing, because it is absolutely accepted by the internet that this is a coyote or a coyote. And COY to me looks like koi, so I think this is what I got upbraided over. I said coyote, but apparently that's clearly wrong. I seem to remember discussing it with Simon, him going, why would you say that? It's clearly coyote. And, well, okay, if you know that, and maybe if you've watched the Roadrunner enough and they pronounce it occasionally, which I don't think they do in that, that's fair enough. But I didn't know. It looks like, what would you call a sort of shy and meek-seeming animal? Would it be a coy coyote? Or am I just mispronouncing the whole oi vowel wrong in an American accent? Is it a coyote? I don't know. Anyway, I believe that the most normal pronunciation of this name now is coyote. And my sincere apologies to the constructor if I have that wrong. The puzzle, though, is called Snout's Wall, and Coyote supplied a couple of lines of verse. In this same interlude it doth befall that I, one Snout by name, present a wall. And I am very, very confident that those are 2 lines of Shakespeare from A Midsummer Night's Dream, in the bit where the rude mechanicals put on their play of Pyramus and Thisbe, and one of them, Snout, has to be a wall in that. I don't know why this puzzle is named after that wall in a play within a play in Shakespeare. But maybe we'll find out as we go. So, I mean, lots of fascination for me in how this puzzle has come about. Don't forget, join us on Patreon, buy our apps, try our merchandise, and interact with the Discord server, because it's all good fun. And you could get Sven SUDOKU PAD while you're at it. All on the links under the video. But the first link will be to this puzzle, which is... Let's do the rules now. This puzzle's kind of a form that used to appear occasionally in some Sudoku magazines. It's kind of a killer without the cages being marked. So the rules are these. Normal Sudoku rules apply. So we'll be putting 1 to 9 in every row, column, and 3 by 3 box. Digits don't repeat in cages, and sum to the total shown. All totals shown are in the leftmost cell in the top row of their cages. And that's normal. That's how killer cages are normally presented. Even if a cage was shaped this way, the number would be in the cell in row 2. And if it was, I tell you what, if it was shaped like this, it would be where that 17 appears. Because it's always the leftmost cell in the topmost row involved in the cage. All cells in this puzzle are in a cage, and that is kind of coyote because it means but I don't have to do the preliminary step of adding every number that's written in the grid to see if they come to 405, which is a very secret number, which I'm sure we will get into in a moment. So those are the rules. We basically have to find the cages to make this a killer Sudoku and then fill the puzzle. Do give it a try on that first link under the video. I am going to start it now. Let's get cracking. And, well, let's think about that 405. Why did I say 405? Because there is a secret that we occasionally share with our favourite people, that every row, column and box in a Sudoku add up to the same number, and we know the number. It's 45. So if that is the case, then obviously there are 9 rows, columns or cages in a Sudoku. The total number of a Sudoku is 45 times 9. That happens to be 405, and that, given this rule set, must be the total of all the numbers in the puzzle. And you can just test your mental arithmetic by checking that if you want, but I'm going to rely on it. Now, it's an interesting thing that the total is 45, because, yeah, I mean, for instance, in this box, in box 1, those numbers do add up to 45. They don't for box 4, 23, 20. Oh, they do in box 2. I don't know. There are chances that means that those boxes are entirely filled with complete cages. It doesn't have to be that way. Okay, what I'm actually going to do is start by doing some colouring. A 13 needs at least 2 cells. Its second cell, this is obviously in a cage. Its second cell can't be here because that's a different cage with a 16 total. So its second cell is there. It might have a third cell. 16 needs at least 2 cells. So I'm going to just try and use different colours. Don't worry about the 4-colour theorem. I will use plenty of colours. This 11 needs a second cell. That must be below it. The 12 needs a second cell. So there's quite a lot of this that can be done. That 11 needs a second cell. That 17 needs at least a second. It would be great to confine it to 2 cells. This 20, that's a big number. That needs at least 3 cells because 2 Sudoku digits can only add up to a maximum of 17. So it's either 3 or 4 cells. 13 on the bottom row. That's quite interesting. It can only take cells from the bottom row, given where the number appears. Okay. Look at box 3. Yeah, this is good. Okay. The numbers in this box, the totals printed in it, add up to 34, 45. I thought they didn't, but they do. They add up to 45. So again, this could be a box in which the whole box is filled with those 3 cages. But I was at first going to say it doesn't have to be that way, because in a box where the numbers add up to 45, one of the things could go out of the box. And a different cage could look into the box. And as long as the numbers looking in and looking out were different, were the same, the 45 total would be maintained. I hope you're following what I'm trying to say. It doesn't really work in this one. Maybe I should find a 45 cage where 36. Maybe the whole point of this puzzle is it won't work. Okay. Anyway, what I think I've determined about box 3 is that there is no poking out of cages. This cell actually cannot come from any other cage, because its number, if it wasn't from a cage in this box, its number would have to be somewhere to the left or higher. And no cage can reach that cell from that area. So this is in the cage. Yeah. And therefore, all of the cells in the box are in the cages given numbers in this box. And therefore, there is no call to go outside the cage because you'd be adding to the 45 total. It wouldn't work. So I know what we can do. We can draw a line. Oh, maybe this is Snout's wall. We're drawing a line around that box because the cages in it are confined to it. And that's quite interesting because this cell, now we know what cage that is part of. It must be part of this 17. I've just noticed this needs a colour, or it needs to be at least 2 cells. And okay, now, what do the numbers add up to in this box? Because it's not 45. They add up to 34, 42, 50, 56. So we are definitely going to break through the borders of this box with its cage numbers. I'm just going to reconsider box 1. No, I'm not. I'm going to reconsider box 2. Box 2, the numbers add up to 45 again. 17 plus 12 is 29, plus 11 is 40, plus 5 is 45. So, is this another box we can draw a line around? Now, this time, I'm not sure, because the 17 could come out of the box, and that could come from the 13 looking into the box. And as long as those two numbers were the same, it would still be a 45 cage. So I don't think we can draw the line around that. Now, this cell, the only cage it can be part of is purple. So that this 13 is at least 2 cells big. Okay, there is no cell in this box that can be in a cage that isn't numbered in the box. So again, we can draw a line around it. That total of 45 is confined within the box. Now, this gets a this gets a different color. Let's make it red. That one is red, but this cell is either red or yellow. It's either a single 3 and that's part of a 16. Oh no, it could even be light blue. It could be part of a 13. So just don't know what color that is, but the line is important. Now, actually, this, because of that wall that we've just drawn, Snout's wall between box 1 and box 2, this cell can't be part of anything except the orange 11. This cell is either part of the 12 or the 5, don't know which. And this 17, now that there's only one escape route, we can't have anything poking into the cage. So given that the numbers add up to 45, we can't have anything poking out either. And that is a fixed 17. And actually I can now draw a Snout's wall here. Now I do know from the totals of the cages below that we're not going to be walling in every box, but we've walled in 3 of them. This cell is clearly part of that 17. Don't really know apart from that in that box. Now, are there any numbers we can do? Yes. No. Yes. This yellow can't go up there, or that's where the number would go. So that yellow is confined to 2 cells. That's a 9 and an 8 to make the 17 there. Now, this green cannot be only 2 cells because it would be a 9-8 pair as well. It needs a 3rd cell. It can only get it in row 3. We've got a Snout's wall below that. And it can't take a cell higher up, or that's where the number would appear. So the numbers here are 3 numbers that add up to 17 without a 9 and an 8. That has to be 764. Now this could still be a 2-cell cage of 9-8, but I think there are various other possibilities. Oh, this, don't know if it's blue or green. Maybe this doesn't really get us much further forward. That's annoying. Right. This 16, that clearly takes a second cell at least. Maybe it will take a third. That 13 needs a second cell there. Yeah, let's just carry on doing this. We've got this wall, so that cell must be part of the 7. Now, oh, there's only one escape route. Yes, these numbers appearing in all of these provide another snouts wall down here. These numbers 20 plus 7 plus 12 plus 8 add up to 47. That is 2 more than the magic 45. So they need an escape route to include 2 points from outside this box. The only possible escape route, we have a bit more snouts wall here. So the only possible escape route is through this place. And then we're going to have 2 sticking out, which has got to be a single 2. It can't be 2 1s. And that must be part of this 8 cage. And that is now going to get a 6. This is either part of the 20 or the 12. Actually, this could be part of the 7 cage. So a little bit none the wiser about what's going on there. But we get a 2 into this cage. Now let's add up the numbers here. Because again now, there's only one escape route. So 23 plus 13 plus 7 is 43. Plus 2 is 45. So we're not using the escape route. We're drawing another snouts wall down here. And these cells must be part of the 23, which needs at least 3 cells. That one could be as well. Now I want to get on, 6 is looking at that cell, so that has to be at least 2 cells. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not quite sure what to do next still. This has got confined to 2 cells, this 16 cage now. So it's a 9-7 pair. Okay, that's interesting. So now 7 in box 2 can't be there. It can't be in the 5 cage. There must be a 7 in the 12 cage somewhere. Now, let's have a look at this cage, which is snout-walled to some extent. But it does have escape routes. But let's just add up the numbers. 14, 23, 28, 36, plus either 7 or 9 there takes us to 43 or 45. So if it does escape, it only escapes by a value of 2. And it can't do that here because we've already got a 2 in the row. So I can draw another effective snouts wall. I was going to say there, but actually, no. We could have something poking in and something poking out. So I have to be a bit more careful. Right, I need to be a bit more careful than that. Now, what about this cage? We know there's something poking out. This box, I mean. 29, 32, 45, 54. So we've got 9 poking out. The only 2 places... Oh, yeah, but you could have poke-ins as well. That could be blue. However, it's either 9 poking out here, which I rather suspect it is. Or that could be, well, even then you could have something coming in and something coming out. It's a little bit, I mean, to be rigorous on this, it's a little bit more confusing than I thought, I have to say. So let's just keep going. $36, $38. Do they add up to 7 or is it a single 7? And that could be part of the 23. Don't know. This 14 is going to need at least 2 cells. This is a very minor conclusion. Oh, that 10 though is going to need 2 cells. And its second one is going to have to come below. At least 2 cells. It could take a third, but that's shut off the 14. which is now definitely only 2 cells. This can't be a single 9 because of that 7-9 pair, so the 9 needs a second cell at least. Now, we have drawn a snouts wall down here, so that's purple or green. It's not part of the 9. So now there's only one escape route from this box, and it's here. 14 plus 9, 23, 28, 36. That can't be a 7 anymore, or we'd have to take the escape route with a 2 there, and we can't have that. So that is now a 9, and we can draw another snouts wall around the edge of this box. There we go. Now, 5 and 8 are different colours. This 14 is now a 6-8 pair because we've got a 9 in the box. This can't have 9, 8, 7 or 6 in it. That's a 5-4 pair. Now this can't be a single 5, so there's 2 cells there. Not orange, but that green. And they must be 3 and 2. This is a 1-7 pair making 8. We'll call that grey. And that box is sort of populated. Now, what about this group of cells? We've got 1, 2, 3, 8, 6, which add up to 20. But we can't use 8 here. So 1, 2, 3, 6 are the available digits. That is a 2, 3, 6 combo. We drop the 1 out. I was going to say it can't go in the 13 cage. That's not true. But this can't be a single 3 now from that triple. So that must be a pair. And that indeed is a 1 and then a 2. And this number is known. It's now an 8. We can't get any further than that in green. This 13, 20, 23, 32, 45. This cage was also not going to escape because the number is exactly right now. So another snouts wall. There's an awful lot. There's only that place and that place where we've broken through cage walls. I think we're going to have to do it around here as well, but we'll get to that. Now, let's just do Sudoku. 3 and 2. This 13 can't go north because the number would be in a different place. So it's those 2 cells, and they are a 9-4 pair. This is 3 and 6, which obviously do successfully add up to 9. And resolve a few ambiguities. 8 and 6 there. That does 8 and 9. That does 4 and 9. Now, oh no, I didn't say there was a 2, 3, 6, 8, 9. We've got 1, 4, 5 and 7. Oh, that can't be a single 5 because of that. So that goes blue, is not a 7. This is now a 7-5 pair, and we know the order. This is a 1-4 pair, and we know the order. Now we can finish off 1-7. We've got the whole central column done. That can't be a 6. This could still be 1, 2, 3, 5, weirdly. That can't be a 9-8 pair, so this needs a third cell. So that goes purple. And now blue is confined, and blue is 9-8 instead. This has to be 7-6-4. It's very similar to that having to be 7-6-4. Once 9 and 8 are gone, 17 and 3 cells can only be done one way. I once did a puzzle entirely themed on that. This can't be a single 8 because of that 8, nor can this one. So these are 2 different colours. I'm going to make that blue again. Radical, I know. This has to be a 5-3 pair, I think. 9, 8, 4, 6, 7. Yes, it does. Can't go further. Now we have a 1-2 pair here. It's either 1-7. No, I couldn't be clear on that because actually this could be 3 cells. But the 6 now can't be 3 cells and has to be just 2. So that's 4 or 5. This is 7 or 6. It can't be 7, so it is 6. That gives us 2, 1, 5. And I think we're away now. So this now can't be a single 5 because there's a 5 in the box. I'm going to risk making that orange. The 19 needs more cells, so it's green. That's not a 6. Ah. 11 is not just 2 cells because we couldn't put 9, 8, 6 or 7 in these two. And you would need one of them if 11 was going to be just 2 cells. So 11 is at least 3 cells. Still don't know the colour of that. That could be a triple. I must remember that. This could be 3, could be many more. 13. Can't quite rule out 9, 4. Right, this needs a high digit, needs a 7 as the high digit. It's 7 and 3. This is now a 4, 1 pair. This is an 8, 2, 9. Now, going up this column, we get 4, 5, 1. Ah, it's not just 3 cells, or we'd repeat the 5. Purple is 4 digits, which is a bit of a surprise. I can do the order because of this 3, 5 pair. That is going to sort out a lot of this a lot of these last 3 columns. This is now an 8, 9. That's not 4. Actually, no, we're not finished there. This has become a 6. It sees a 2, 3 pair. I must be able to add up this 13 from the candidates. We have 2, 3, 4, 6. They add up to 15, so we drop the 2, 3, 4, 6 there. 2, 3, 7, 8 and 9 here. Still, I can't say that that's definitely a 7, 9 pair because it could go 7, 8, 1 until I realise that this can't be a single 3 now. So that has to be a 2 cell cage, a 1, 2 pair. And now this is a 2 cell cage of 7, 9. That's an 8 going with a 5. Why doesn't this get easier? 1, 4, 5, 7. Ah, we can't get up to 13 in two of the available cells here. The most they can be is 7 and 5. So that is now purple. And now these are made up of 3 out of 7, 5, 4, 1, which add up to 17. So we drop the 4, and that's 1, 5, 7. 4 and 5. Now along here this can't be a single 7 because of that. And that's been available for quite a little while. 3 and 8 here. We can't put an 8 in a 7 cage. So that's all coming together quite neatly. Now, 3 and 4 are looking at the corner where we're not going to get a 3. This row has been mocking me for a long time. That has to be 3 or 5. This is 8. 8, 3, 4, 6. That's 5, 7 or 9. I'm just doing candidate marking here. That's 1, 2 or 7. I'm wondering, can this still go around the corner? Because I can see it could be 7, 5, 8. I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure. This could still be a 3, 4 pair. It can't be a 5, 2 or a 6, 1 pair. Or it's a 1, 2, 4 triple. So 4 is definitely in the 7 cage. What about this 12 cage? Do I know more than I realise about that? It's either 2 or 3 cells. I don't know. I'm sure this is very straightforward at this point and I'm just not getting it. Come on, just think. Right, is this a 1, 2, 4 cage or is it a 3, 4 cage? Ah, it's not a 3, 4 cage because where would 1 and 2 go in this row? That's lovely. So it is a 3 cell grey cage. So now I get to colour the last cell in the grid. That's blue. This is 9 or 7 to make up the total. This is a 1, 2, 4 cage. So that's a 4. In fact, we can fill them all in. 1, 2. That's becomes 7. This becomes 9 and 3. And that becomes 5. And of course, since I coloured that light blue, this is just a 3 cell cage. I should have realised that. I think I'm finishing off now though. That's interesting. You could I think you could skate through this puzzle a lot quicker if you made reasonable assumptions. Or even if you made slightly unreasonable assumptions. Like, I always thought that 23 would be 3 cells. But to do it rigorously logically, I don't think is quite as easy as you might have thought. You may have been saying, why is Mark going so slowly here? But I was doing it rigorously logically. I was trying to make sure that we got absolutely only the deduced details into it. And I quite enjoyed building the walls, which went up around so many of the cages, so many of the boxes, and I guess are what Coyote's snout's wall is referring to. And I always like to bring a bit of Shakespeare into a Sudoku video. It's rare enough. So after that, the rest is silence. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now.